we have a client that they do trust and wills, and they're out of Las Vegas, but they do these all over the country. And
Yeah.
they have actually started using Ron to go through. The attorney appears on the screen with them, and we do the transaction. They just need the notary because they want a third-party notary.
Yeah.
A lot of people think attorneys have notaries in-house, but large law firms actually don't want the responsibility.
Yeah.
They want that third-party notary to be there and perform the notarization part. And it's also convenient for them because they don't have to have a 24/7 assistant that has a notary stamp just to do an appointment. We've seen great successes also recently. So we work with a finance credit advising company. It's not a debt settlement company. It's a company that helps people. They're usually higher end, put their financials together if they've made financial mistakes, and then they take over and do everything. These are the ones that we announced on Friday that we're running all through Blue Notary, 400 plus sightings, a month. That's another great example of it. Some of our attorney clients, just for the ability of DocuSign, we have one attorney client that their entire agreement is not even notarized. We can put them through and just sign the documents online. That's a personal injury attorney.
Yeah.
And if there happens to be a document that needs to be notarized in, it's great. It's, there's so many uses for Ron, but I also tell notaries, at my Notary Star Plus marketing course, I tell notaries all the time that are into Ron that they need to be able to have that conversation. There were so many attorneys that shut down their offices during COVID.
Yes.
And they don't want brick and mortars anymore. A lot of title companies are actually working from home, and they don't have an office for them to come into, and they don't want to go back to the office. And a lot of people learn how to save money. So having that conversation with attorneys about how they can save money on sitting on a mobile notary and get a better deal on doing Ron transactions, and that you're available and here's your calendar, or putting together a small team of notaries that work together to service those clients. You can start your own little Ron signing service, which I've seen a few notaries do.
Yeah, no, I see it all the time. And I promote among the Blue Notary, or just in general, collaborating among other notaries, because I almost get more work from other notaries passing stuff back and forth. And if I want to, go on a quick Disney trip and I don't have time to do a Ron that comes in, and I still want that client, I can pass it off to a different notary that, I work with all the time. So I definitely advocate for collaborating among other notaries. And just
Laura Buer says it best. She says, turn competitors into colleagues.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I built Unlimited Ink into a multi-million-dollar company. I started out with 8 notaries that probably were my biggest competitors in the area, and we became very good friends. And I was the guy that put it really all together, but instead of them going in and competing, we were building this company together in a local area. When it comes to a title company, like if you're approved directly with a title company, that notary would need to be approved with them as well.
Yeah.
Having those conversations with notaries and just saying, hey, listen, you have your clients, I'm helping cover your clients if something goes wrong, which means you get more business if they ever go out of town, and or we'll service this title company together. Having those conversations are just what business professionals should be doing.
Yes.
I have seen many situations where an in-house notary, one escrow officer might be one notary, and one escrow officer might be using another notary, and there's kind of like a clash of, there's that other notary.
Yeah.
First one to walk up and be like, can I buy you coffee? Let's become friends. Even though you would like that business too, having professional boundaries and good work ethic, and saying, I'm never going to go after your client. However, if you go out of town, I can make sure that they don't find somebody else that they like better. It's a great way to start the conversation.
Yeah, 100%. Because that's when I first started going in, I remember reaching out to a different notary, and I'm like, hey, I don't exactly know what to do for some of this. And instead of being shut off or anything, like, she was like, come have coffee with me. And she and I work together all the time now. So it's worth a conversation to kind of reach out and be like, hey, do you want to be a friend? Kind of, like, just that conversation. I really advocate for that. Like, I don't know. Yeah, I just really advocate for that. I like the notary community in that way, that it's super nice. Everybody's
This year we had a big conference, which I hope to see Blue Notary at if they do it again this year. It was called the Level Up Conference. And the whole theme of the conference this year was collaboration is the new currency.
The other thing that I wanted to ask you is, for what made you change from in person to remote? What were the reasons why you did it?
So I am one of the notaries or signing agencies that don't specifically focus on one or the other. I never put my eggs in one basket. I
Yeah.
feel that Ron opens up so many doors and avenues and can help you keep a client for a longer period of time. It adds value to your notary business. So I actually do them both. So I never made a switch, so to speak. But the reason that I added it was two reasons. Number one, I wanted to become a pioneer so that, all the notaries that work with me throughout the country could have someone to turn to and
Yeah.
from in the Ron sector. And then number two, I just think it's a smart business move. I mean, there's no other way to say it. I said it my last couple of seminars for all notaries that this is the time. If you're not learning Ron, this is
A really great, yeah. Yeah, because
just really great. It has to be done. You're going to get left behind if you don't.
I think so too. But yeah, I think the majority of, especially after the pandemic where everybody was using Zoom and Docs, all of the things that they basically had to, that now it's not such a leap for people to do the remote online notarizations, because basically, as long as, like, when I have people that are like resistant, obviously there's some people that are not going to be able to do it. Those are the people that I'm trying to help them get logged into their email. And they might not necessarily be the best candidate. But for the most part, for remote online notarization, as long as you can upload a check onto your banking account, it's essentially the same thing as far as the skills needed. You need to take a picture of the back and the front of your ID and then answer a few questions or do the biometrics, and then you're in. I think that it opens up the market towards more people just switching over. If I knew beforehand when I needed to get stuff notarized that I didn't have to leave my house, I would have done that before I knew about virtual notarization. So I think that when most people figure that out, they're going to switch over to that instead.
Also, if you look at the next 10-year projection, I mean, the problem that we have really with technological hurdles are people 65 plus. And generally when somebody does 65 plus, they make one final transaction for home purchases. They go to their retirement home and that's where they're going to stay. So you don't see any real estate transactions after 65 plus. You might see a lot of them right now because they're making that transaction. However, in the next 10 years, those who are in their late 40s, early 50s are going to be our new 65 plus.
Yeah.
And they have had a cell phone and smartphone in their hand. And the newer generations, as it moves on, are going to expect convenient, easier technology to log in and get things done. I don't think that notaries will ever be replaced. I don't think that they'll ever be able to do that. And one of the things that I see with Ron platforms that I want to encourage notaries to use in their conversation. So there are places where people can just upload documents and have them notarized. However, being a loan signing agent is so valuable to a title and escrow officer. One of the clients that we have that use us for Ron got so sick of just uploading documents and the notary being like, I don't know what to do, and they would come back and have to go through the process over and over again. So tagging platform and knowing how to execute those documents and being a loan signing agent is still going to have a lot of value in the Ron sector because you know what you're doing as a loan signing agent. I don't foresee, is it okay to mention like other names? Because it is a different process, like another Ron platform. Is it okay to mention?
Yeah, we can always, if it's not above board, we can always edit, but
let's leave the name out because there are Ron platforms where they just encourage title to just upload the documents and then the questions, and then the notary is not connected to the title company to be able to ask any questions. Those are drawbacks for Ron, and I don't foresee that working very good for title and escrow or attorneys, but for the general public, it's going to work wonderfully. But for the title and escrow sector, you're going to have a huge pool when you're able to say, I understand these documents and I'm performing this transaction through Ron, and I can help you as a trained agent, as a loan signing agent.
Yes. Yeah, I 100% think that is, because I talk a lot about diversifying income and like learning new skills as far as like different ways to create income. But 100%, I think that the top, I guess, paying avenues is loan signings and then also litigation. So if you learn those skills, and then you can basically go out into the general public or towards these law firms, towards these signing real estate transaction avenues, 100% that is a educational thing that you should learn and then go out and market. So yes, I agree. Yeah.
Awesome.
So